everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm here today to give you my January 2023 TBR and my reading and channel goals for the new year. So I realized a few days ago that if I wanted to make all these videos separately, it was going to take a really long time. So that's why I'm combining these two videos today. And I ended up having quite a few different TBRs that I was putting together to read from this year. So that's why I was hoping to do, or I will be doing, some individual videos about these different TBRs, as I did for the Thrive Together Network TBR that I posted earlier. And then I'll just roll a lot of that into this January TBR because it happens to be coinciding right now. So I'll start off with the TBR and then I'll move into the goals. My TBR for January 2023, I have just started this huge book, Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. This is his autobiography. This is just like, I think it hits around 700 pages, so almost 750 pages. And I've had this for a very long time, and there is a reason that this is on my TBR beyond just because I wanted to read more about Nelson Mandela, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about that in the TBR, South Africa TBR that I'm putting together. Spoiler alert, we're going on a little trip in a couple months, and so I wanted to read this. I've had it on my shelves for a long time. Along with another book from South Africa, The Woman Next Door by Yewande Omotoso. Tanya, she had this on her, I will link her down below. Hi, Tanya. She read this a few years ago and she gave it a great review, and I've had it on my TBR since then. This is about two neighbors in South Africa. I believe one of them is white, one of them is black, and they share a fence, and it's about their relationship. And obviously, you know, the different things, the different tensions socially in South Africa between black and white people. And so it's all played out between these two neighbors. So I'm very excited to read this one. Another TBR that I will be making a video about. This is for it's interesting story, but there is a Read Across Canada challenge, I believe, or read along that's happening. And I am going to talk more about that when I go over my TBR for that. But this is Small Game Hunting at the Local Coward Gun Club by Megan Gail Coles. This novel was a Giller Prize finalist in Canada. It was also on Canada Reads. I'm not sure what year. And you know that if you've been around here, you know that I like to read from the Canada Reads list. This is set in Newfoundland and was written by a Newfoundland author. And it's around a restaurant. So there's a restaurant and there's all these different people that work in the restaurant, and it's a different perspective. So you move in section to section from the different perspectives of the people that are working at the restaurant and learn about them. And it's also set in February, so there's like a cold winter vibe to it as well. And I think there's a lot of personal drama, there's a lot of interpersonal relationships and societal commentary that's all woven into the story. So that is the novel. And then I'm also reading Daily Rituals, Women at Work by Mason Currey. I read his first book, which is Daily Rituals of Artists, I believe, which I really enjoyed. But this one is, in the foreword, he actually talks about how he didn't have enough women in the first book. And this book is trying to fix that problem and represent more equally the perspectives. So these are, I love these books because he does these little biographies about these women, and then also focuses on their daily rituals that around creating. And so sometimes there's a photograph. It's really easy to read because you're reading in small little snippets. And then he's also categorized all of these creatives into different categories, which is interesting to see how those play together as well. But they're from all different eras, all different walks of life. And I do recommend these. I think they're very good. Then there's this big one, A Moment's Liberty, The Shorter Diary by Virginia Woolf. Okay, so I started reading this in 2021, I believe. 2021. It's been over, I think we're going on 2 years. We're getting near the end. I've been slow reading this. This has been my slow read, just picking it up here and there. And I got to a point at the end of 2020 where I thought, it's time to finish this book. It's time to get her done. So I think I have at this stage about 130 pages left. So I'm trying to wrap this up, and I will be doing a video about this book, which ties into my reading goals for 2023, to get back to my Bloomsbury Diaries series, where I talk about books that are written by or for about the Bloomsbury group. So this will be the next book that I talk about in that series, coming sometime this year. I'm not going to put a definite timestamp on that. And then my audiobook for this month is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nghi. So I was just scrolling through Libby when I picked this book out. I didn't know anything about this book before downloading it. And Nghi is, I believe, a Vietnamese descent author of Vietnamese descent. I believe she's American. And this book is set in 1922. It is the heroine is Jordan Baker, who was adopted from Vietnam and lived in a Louisville, Kentucky family. And she was kind of like an orphan that this rich family took in and raised as a companion for their own daughter. And it is set in the Roaring 20s, so she's of age in the Roaring 20s, so she's out partying. She's a tennis player, like a professional tennis player as well. And I think there's also a bit of a magical, supernatural element to it. So we're kind of just following the main character, Jordan, who is an outsider in the elite classes. So because she is not white, she's an outsider, and she's also, as far as I can tell, bisexual. So we're seeing this world through her eyes. So I will share more about that once I've finished it in my reading wrap-ups. So that concludes my my TBR for January. I think I actually gave myself too much. I'm a little bit worried that I'm not going to be able to get through this. I'm not going to try to read the whole Nelson Mandela biography in January. This is going to be a 2-month at least read for me. I'm hoping to get it done before our trip. But again, I'm going to tell you more about that in the dedicated South Africa TBR video that I will be coming up with. So I'm going to be reading from the South Africa TBR for the next 2 months, for sure. My reading goals in terms of numbers for 2023 is 75 books. That's the same goal I've had for the last 3 years. It's a really reasonable number for me for the most part. I think I struggled in 2021 to get to that number. And then this year I didn't struggle. I actually went over, I thought I'd read 75, but I read 76 books, but yeah. And especially when I'm reading for the Book 2 prize, which is another goal that I've got for this year, is to judge at least one round of the Book 2 prize. I don't think I'll do multiple rounds this year because I was originally going to do translated fiction, which is what I did in 2022, and I really enjoyed that. It was like the perfect round for me. And unfortunately, the translated fiction is not going to be in the Book 2 prize this year. So I told Robert that he could put me into the pool for fiction and nonfiction, which is what I did my first year that I was judging. And I ended up doing 3 rounds of that year, I believe. And I did find it kind of difficult to move between the 2 categories. But I also really enjoy going through the lists at the beginning of the selection for judges and kind of seeing all those books and like having them come onto my radar. So I thought that I would just go into whatever pool was needed, wherever I was needed this year, and go from there. But I do really hope that in 2024 the translated fiction category can come back, because that is really, for me, was a really great category that I really enjoyed being a part of. So I talked about the Read Across Canada challenge, and again, I'm going to be making a dedicated video for that. So I've created a whole TBR for myself to read across Canada with, and I'm going to be reading from that in this year. And then I'm also going to be doing my 5-star predictions as normal. I am making it a little bit smaller this year. Only 3 books are going to be on that list, and I will let you know why when I make that video coming up soon. So those are my reading goals. In terms of the channel goals, I did already say I wanted to bring back my Bloomsbury Diaries series. I will continue with my women artist videos. I'm hoping to do 3 this year. Last year I was able to make 2. This year I'd like to make 3. I would also like to bring back another series that I've done 2 videos of, which is my channeling videos. I did a channeling Virginia Woolf video and a channeling Florence Nightingale video, and I'd like to do another one of those this year. Those are kind of more artistic for me. They're more experimental, kind of this hybrid between performance art, video, and literature, and kind of embodying a person, and like, you know, it's a really kind of abstract thing, but also something I just enjoy creatively doing. So that's why I want to do those. And I'm really hoping that sometime in 2023, my channel gets its access to community tab. I think this is rolling out across YouTube, but it's not coming everywhere at once. So there are some regions where everyone has gotten their access to the community tab, and some regions where they haven't, and in my region I have not. And I'm really hoping that I will be getting access to that, because I feel like one of the lacks of YouTube is being able to post in between videos and kind of engage more with subscribers. And so having that channel community tab option is going to really help with that and encourage more, you know, interaction between specifically YouTube people, and not having to like send YouTube people to Instagram to chat to me, but that they can chat to me here other than in places other than the comments of the videos. So that's something I'm really looking forward to for 2023. Otherwise, you can still expect monthly TBRs and wrap-ups. I'm going to continue in my same wrap-up mode that I had previously, which is the kind of more vlog style, where as I finish a book, I wrap it up. It just really worked well for me in terms of not having to try to remember my feelings about a book weeks or days after I've read it, but just being able to like pick the perfect moment and record. And I also just find it as it's a bit more dynamic in terms of a video, with not just the talking head kind of view to it. So I'll continue with that. I will still be doing deep dive reading vlogs, which I really enjoy doing, but obviously take a lot of time to film. I will be doing my studio vlogs monthly as well. And I will also be doing more of the videos that I did. I didn't do as many of these in 2022 as I did in 2021, where I compile the footage from my studio vlogs when I'm around a certain piece that I've created and make a video dedicated to that specific piece. So I've got some, a lot of back footage that I need to put together to feature those pieces. And I like putting those videos together, so that's also just a fun editing experience for me. What else can you expect? I am also hoping to do some lives this year. I have a little plan in my head about how to implement a live on my channel and on another friend of mine's channel, so I'm going to be pitching that to her and seeing what she thinks about that. And I have one more Q&A video left from my Q&A in 2021 that I need to finish up, and I'm going to be editing that very soon as well. So there's lots of videos coming down the pipe that I just haven't gotten to yet, and I have to film, and that need to be taken care of, and I'm going to be doing that as soon as I can. So I hope you stick around for 2023. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And I wish you all a super happy reading year, a super happy creative year of making as well in 2023. And I will be back again soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.